Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 263. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hey, that's me.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Got myself some Taco Bell.
What did you get at the Bell?
Normally I get a Mexican pizza because they're back, and you can just get them now, and they exist.
I like that.
However, I did not this time because I didn't want to make it into a whole meal, so I got the chili cheese burrito, which is delicious, and then 3 cheese roll-ups. So,
So you are a real American. That's what I'm hearing
Yes.
then.
Exactly.
Fair enough. All right, for beer today, looks like we both have a hammy.
Yep, we do, and I'm currently sipping on my Pepsi. I will open my hams momentarily.
All good. All right, before we get into regular old topics, I want to briefly touch on, as I always do before the show starts, our Patreon page. Head on over to patreon.com/carbitrage. On this super cool website that I've handcrafted via a template that's very basic, you will find 3 open-ended levels of support, starting at just $1 a month. That just covers our hosting costs and part of our beer budget. We don't make anything on the show, so if you want to help us out, feel free. Otherwise, we'll just keep right on making it. Patreon.com/carbitrage.
Yes.
Yes.
I will start with the first topic.
Sounds good.
The first
You have
topic
the
is
first topic.
about Need for Speed Unbound, the new Need for Speed video game.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop talking like that. I'm going to talk like a normal human, not like a robot.
I mean, you do you, man.
Yeah, so Need for Speed Unbound is...
Not to be confused with
Coming out.
Underground.
Yeah, it's the same thing, though. It's Need for Speed Street Racing. And in it, first off, A$AP Rocky's in it, which is a problem, because A$AP Rocky has a bunch of rape allegations.
Oh,
That's not cool.
No.
Also, what he's doing in the game is terrible, because he's the dude that runs the street takeovers
oh, great.
that are in the video game. Because this video game supports street takeovers. And so that must mean that Speed Hunters, the publication, which is
Also
owned
supports them?
by EA, clearly supports street takeovers.
I don't like those because I like getting places I'm going.
I like, if I'm going to be doing something illegal on the road,
Allegedly.
I'm going to do it competitively,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to actually have an end game to it. Like, you can't bet and make money or do anything with street takeovers other than look like an idiot. Whereas, like, with drag racing, like, you can do side betting. There's actually a car that is beating the other car. There is a form of competition there. If you're, like...
The process of making those side beds is so, like, enthusiastic.
Yeah, I love doing side betting.
Where was the Cache at the Creek or whatever? That we
Yeah,
went
yeah, that one, yeah.
time? That
Yeah.
was really fun.
Yeah, that's what they do. Side betting is great. So, like, I don't get takeovers. They suck. People get hurt. Like, very rarely do people get hurt drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to be drag racing, the only person getting hurt is usually the person that is drag racing.
Correct.
But, like, street takeovers, it's like every weekend you see, like, 5 new videos of people having their feet run over and getting punted into orbit by, like, another car. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Do you know how many bones are in the human foot? That guy does.
Yeah, he just found out.
You got a bill for every one of them.
Yeah, and, like, it's stupid, and it's like you're, like, wasting your tires, which is, like, very expensive. Like, say what you will about drag racing, like... Drag racing, yeah, it uses a lot of gas. Sure, you can use up your clutch if depending on how you're launching, but you're not like eating away at your tires unless you're doing burnouts before every run.
It is
Like,
actually amazing how long you can make consumables last when you're just doing quarter mile at a time or like
Yeah.
a lap at a time on a
Yeah.
DE or something like that.
exactly, as opposed to like
I remember
doing a
the-
street takeover.
The BMW CCA when we hosted the I forget what we even called the event, but up at Brainerd, and people
Yeah.
would show up with like these brand new like DOTR tires and like a brand new set of brake pads, and like, oh, I'm gonna blow through all these, and they leave, and like the tires are still full tread, and they haven't even like touched the brake pads. I'm like, you guys are not driving hard enough to ruin this stuff anytime soon.
Yeah, no, like if you're doing like an actual like timed track event, or if you're doing
Yeah.
like autocross, and
Sure, yeah.
you can.
You're really
through
leaning
them.
on stuff over and over and over again.
But like, if you're just driving around normal, you're fine. Like, it's not gonna be a problem.
Big
And-
agree.
And so this is like really, just like really, really dumb. And like, there's an issue with Need for Speed. It's been a problem for years, and it's not like I was having an argument with somebody on the internet, as I do
no.
in my spare time. And it was about like I was like talking shit about Need for Speed, and they're like, "What are you talking about? This is a great looking game." Oh, it's because it was Criterion is the studio, and the Criterion makes historically very good games.
I've heard of like Criterion Collection. That's different.
Game dev, I can't remember what all they did, but like, let me look at what games they've done.
Okay.
Didn't have this pulled up, so my bad.
No, it's all good.
So yeah, they're doing Need for Speed, and they've previously done like Burnout Paradise. Yeah, that's what they did. They did like the Burnout games. Like they're actually like a good studio. They've been around since like 2004. They've done like really dope shit. But I was like telling this person, I'm like, yeah, but EA is their corporate overlord and always has been. So like, yeah, Criterion's capable of making a good game when EA doesn't like stick their nose into everything.
Which I assume they do at every single juncture.
Yeah, because like if you remember, like so this is what Criterion's made. Trick Style, which is a really cool snowboarding game for Dreamcast. All the Burnout games that were good. Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit.
Oh, yes. I loved that game.
Need for Speed, Most Wanted. But also, they've done Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 version.
I actually enjoyed playing at least a bit of that. I'm terrible at games.
No,
but like
it's a fun game. It's a fun game, and the gameplay itself isn't the problem, but like the content of the game is the problem.
Sure.
And it was the same thing. Like they also did Battlefield 2042, which was like raging dumpster fire of a game. So yeah, as long as EA Games is like at all part of like what Criterion is, yeah, they're totally capable of making garbage because they also make Burnout Crash, which is like the worst Burnout game. It came out for 360 and PlayStation 3, and it was like an abject failure. Abject failure, totally. But like, yeah. So I was talking about like, yeah, they're totally capable of having like a garbage game because of EA. And then literally the day after I said that, they did their release, and they're like, oh, there's going to be street takeovers. And I'm like,
great. Yeah, you want to promote that in a game.
I am correct. It's going to be a garbage game, and it's going to be totally forgettable. Because, like, in the last, like, Need for Speed game...
Well, and the reverse lights are on this 2.516 Evo 2.
I know.
And the bumper's missing.
Yeah, I know. And it's also got the wrong muffler.
It's got a lot of wrong stuff.
Yes. And so, like, in the last game, like, it was a really nice-looking game, and it was in a great area, great open world. Everything was great. There's one very cursed problem with the game.
Which was?
Your cars automatically started to drift.
Oh, great.
Midway through a corner.
Oh, my God.
Like, like, you know when you go through a turn, you let off the gas?
Yeah.
And then you go back on the gas after the apex?
Yep.
When you go back on the gas, it automatically drifts, and you cannot turn that feature off.
Yeah, pass.
Even if it's a front-wheel drive car.
No. Oh, my God.
Yep, every car. Every car will do that all the time.
I don't like that.
Yep. I couldn't. I literally could not get past that. Like, the customization of the cars was the best customization I've ever seen in a video game.
Not saying something, because there's
Like,
a lot of games that are really good
Yeah,
at that.
like, there was a lot of really good stuff. But the problem was the core gameplay was just unplayable.
Bad.
You know what? You can have a drift button. Like, sure, just allow me, A, to turn it off, and B, that's what the handbrake's for.
Which there's a button for.
Or like you can do what Forza does, where you can drift, you just downshift, and then you go wide open throttle instead of easing onto the throttle like I'm doing.
Yeah, and you can scandy flick in that game too.
Yeah, and like I was like easing onto the throttle, and then like literally I'd ease on as soon as I got to like 10% throttle drifting.
It's weird what a real physics engine will do in a game.
Yeah, it's really
And that's completely lacking in NFS. Which back in the day was endearing. Like NFS Hot Pursuit. Other than having an annoyingly realistic police siren.
Yeah, no, like in Underground 1 and 2, they were both great. Like Most Wanted to a lesser extent was okay. But like all the way up through like Pro Street was like they were actually fun to play games.
Yeah.
And then after that, they just like fell off. Like even Pro Street wasn't that great, but that was like the last one I remember enjoying playing.
Sure. I think that's kind of in the era where I just wasn't doing anything on a computer.
Well, yeah, and like Pro Street was like right when they first introduced like they were trying to move away from the street racing thing, and they're trying to go like back to like racetrack racing.
Sure. Circuit.
And circuit racing. And it was like it was kind of cool. Like basically what they're trying to do is like a grid life sort of like feel to it.
Sure.
And like it was fun.
Vibe.
It wasn't perfect. It was by no means a perfect game. Don't get me wrong. But like I have fond memories of it, but the other Need for Speed games since then, I've not had fond memories of, because, like, they've always tried some new gimmick. They've always had, like, just really, like, just shitty progression as far as, like, the cars go and stuff, where I'm just, like, the whole time I'm playing, I'm like, I could be playing any other racing game. Why am I playing this?
And then you stop and you play any other racing game.
Yep, and this is exactly what Unbound's doing, is why would I ever play this? Also, it's going to be, like, cel-shaded.
And it's probably going to be a bunch of money because EA.
Yeah, well, it's going to be cel-shaded anime style.
Oh, my God.
And, I mean, like, that's fine. Automodelista did that, and it was great.
Sure.
But, like, this is also EA. Like, I have no faith in this company.
Automobilista is a pretty enough game, but it has a really, really good physics engine.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is at its core, that game could have been on Atari 2600. But at its core, well, actually, that probably wouldn't have run the physics engine. But theoretically, like, you could give me Atari graphics. I don't care what the game looks like. I care about how the game plays. Mm-hmm. Like, there are many games where I will play them, and they look like absolute ballsack. Yeah. Tokyo Extreme Racer as a series, I will play all of them.
It doesn't take much hardware. Like, you could run it on an integrated graphics and a CPU, basically, and still have fun. And the physics engine will still run just fine. Yeah. It's just you're not rendering 8 gigabyte texture files.
I care about how the game plays. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic. Like, I don't need... Like, Forza is not realistic. And I love Forza when I can love it. When they're not, like, giving me, like, fucking Hot Wheels.
When I can love it.
Well, because, like, I want to enjoy Forza, and then, like, I get it, and then I'm like, then I was like, ooh, last time they said they're going to have 2 DLCs, so I did, like, I pre-purchased everything. Yeah. And then it was Hot Wheels and Legos.
Those are not what I want.
Yep, that's not what I'm looking for, so this time I just didn't buy the DLC, and I was better for it. Yeah. All I did is I bought the car packs that gave me the Chinese cars. That's all I wanted.
Well, the last couple times I bought, like, a PlayStation, it's been for Gran Turismo. Yeah. And that, in the PS3 days, they were just starting with, like, DLC. Yeah. And a lot of that stuff was just handled on the PlayStation Store, and you just added it, and then it was own lifetime of the game. But it actually gave you, like, additional new car model packs that you liked, and it wasn't some themed sponsored content that still costs you.
And I'm okay with, like, themed sponsored content, because, like, their car packs are always sponsored.
Sure.
And, like, they'll have, like, the smoking tire content pack, and it'll be, cool. Like... But then they'll be, like, actually cool cars. Does
it have a Vespa 350 GTS
no,
in it?
No, but it has, like a Crown Vic.
Zach Bowman's?
Yeah. Or, like, they'll have, like, a Ford Mustang SVO.
Nice. Okay.
So, like...
Weird old shit.
Yeah, they have, like, cool car packs, but, like, the actual DLC is just garbage on Forza. Sure. But, like, whereas, like, Need for Speed is just, like... All right, here you go. Here's your FDR X7. This is the coolest car in the game. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool car. You're right.
But it's cool for 15 minutes.
And I'm like, all right. We're, like, I look at their car list, and they're all actually, like, I don't play video games for I play for the quirky cars. Yeah.
Well, it's like going to a car show. It's the same thing.
I don't want to, I don't actually care about nice cars.
Well, nice cars are subjective, too.
Yeah.
You don't care about
quote, unquote,
most
nice
people.
Cars. Yeah, no, like, when I was at Motorplex, there's objectively the best FD I've seen in Minnesota ever.
Still
took a lot of photos of it. Yeah, it was a rotary. Good. It had a V-mounted intercooler. It was super rad. But the car that I was most excited about was the Hillman Packyard Taxicab.
Hell yes.
Like, that was much cooler to me because, like, it was just so dumb and quirky. Like, this is hilarious. This is the equivalent of the guy that, like, goes on Forza and actually tunes a Reliant Robin and then goes set some lap times, and you're playing in Rivals, and there's just, like, Reliant Robin that's just, like, owning your shit, and, like, you're sitting here with a Porsche and you cannot handle it.
I want to see somebody rebuild the entire front end of a Reliant Robin to be able to adjust the camber in real time as it turns to get it to be stable.
What people do in Forza is they'll do the Reliant Robin, they'll put the stabilizer wheels from Top Gear on them, and then they'll actually, like racing around in, like, the D-Class, like, Rivals, where you go, like, all the racetracks, and they'll set, like, ridiculous lap times with them.
Just because it's so light, or what?
Yeah, and plus, if you get good with any car...
Sure, okay.
That's fair. If you get good with it, you can do it. And so, like Hip, he takes a Ford Transit and just, like, destroys lap times. He's in, like, the top, like, 1% consistently, like, Hip's worldwide. And I'm, like, sitting here... And I'm, like, taking, like, a Frog Eye Sprite. I'm in the top 5%. Like, I'm taking, like, a quirky car that I love. And I cannot keep up with him. But that's not, but the thing is, like, if I was doing D class, if I really cared, I'd just take a Miata and be done with it.
Sure.
But like, no, I don't want to just have a Miata. Like anybody can do
That's
it.
the easy
Miata.
button.
Yeah, no,
We don't do easy
No,
button.
I'll put Miata into like S1 class with like racing against like FXXs and stuff. Like that's what I'll do with a Miata in that game.
Oh my god. I like that it lets you do that at least.
Yeah, you can put a four-rotor from a 787B into the Miata.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, that would fit.
It does technically fit. It does technically go very quickly, and you
God.
do technically have absolutely no downforce at all.
Great.
Yep.
No, then not like that engine's powerful
And
or
your
anything.
tires are like, I think you can go like up to a 245 millimeter wide tire.
That's pretty big on a Miata.
Yep, I think I hear
that
a
a train?
train. I think I do hear a train. That's a train.
That's definitely a train.
I'm gonna take a photo of it.
It's going the wrong way.
I know, but I still got a photo of it for Jana.
That's good. That like vintage train with the steamer
Yes.
came through last weekend. Super cool. I'm happy to see that they're finally running that again. I want to ride that at some point.
Speaking of trains
Yes.
and things I saw on the way here, Jaguar XF
Yes, boat
wagon.
brake.
Yes,
They are really rare, but they sold
There's
them here.
One in the neighborhood.
Nice.
Very cool.
First time I saw one of those, I almost crashed. I'm like, what is that? It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's very fair. Like,
Except-
that is very good.
It's yeah. Scott knew I didn't text. I immediately texted him first. I saw one in Edina a couple of years ago. I'm like, interesting. Beautiful car. Briefly touching on fond memories, since you brought
Yes.
that up several times with older games. It's not in the notes, but since we last recorded, the last Cars and Crafts, the closer.
Oh, my shirt ripped.
Oh no! It's like
Oh.
the crotch in a pant.
Yep. Anyway, yes, the last Cars and Crafts happened. Somebody else was on the stereo and was actually very nice because the stereo wasn't overwhelming for.
Except for like the 8 times where it went to static for no reason, and I happened to be in front of the speaker. at
Somebody
point-blank range.
else took over like midway through, and it was like a guest DJ or something,
Yeah.
and he just really loved the dance hall air horn, like.
Oh, I remember that. They
Yeah.
have their new sound bite that they bought on Fiverr for like $10 or whatever. Drive cartel. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's.
I hate that sound effect.
I'm becoming such an old man.
I have an irrational hatred of that.
However,
sound effect.
I will tell you, I've come across a new hustle.
Oh, yeah?
that I'm doing.
What you
there.
got?
They have the $5 bin at their vintage clothes that are in the back because they
Where?
All right, so it's Cars and Crafts, and one of the things is they have a craft sale in the back, and there's usually a few vintage clothes sellers, and they have a
yeah.
$5 bin
Okay.
where they're just like unloading their overstock.
Yeah.
And I've like bought things every time, and I bought this amazing hat there.
I've never actually walked through that vendor.
It's very good.
Okay.
They have amazing cursed items. Like I absolutely love it. But I got this amazing hat that is the Seattle 1990 Goodwill games,
oh my god.
and I'm flipping them on Depop.
I like the old style hat. I'm going to a Halloween party
That's
in
how
the
it looks. It looks very good.
The 1990s hat has such a defined aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like I always think of the Michelob hat in Happy
Yeah.
Gilmore on that Cadillac guy or
It's
whatever.
so
I'm
good,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, that's just the shape. I bought a Marlboro one of those on the
Ooh,
internet.
very good. Very good.
I
But
bought like a full racing suit. I'm going as an 80s Formula One driver.
are you going to
Eric and Waffles party?
yeah, I was thinking about going to that. I'm not sure what Jana's plan is.
Slutty theme kind of threw me for a loop, so
I just wear some hoochie
I'm gonna have
shorts and
to
be done with it.
put a lot of like hair sticking through everything. It should be fine.
I'm saying I'm gonna wear some hoochie shorts if I go, and just like I don't know, just my normal thing, both hoochie shorts.
Make sure to
on.
put Juicy on there and then get a tramp stamp.
Oh, I was thinking of just like some like Rhodesian battle shorts, so you can see like my entire ass through them. So
Fair enough. That's
Yeah.
pretty slutty. All right, on to my actual topic. The Microlino, that super adorable Italian mini Isetta EV, is
Yes.
actually in production.
amazing.
So they are
This is a good
currently
thing.
in the first 999 units, and they're called the Pioneer cars. They are currently shipping to customers in Switzerland.
Okay.
After that market, they are moving to Italy, and then later in this year, they'll go to mainland Europe and the UK.
This is very good.
Don't know if we'll ever get these, but I watched a
think we will.
fully charged.
I'm imagining that the front door will create an issue with DOT.
Well, everything creates an issue with the DOT, but this thing is it's
perfect.
So
it's a
small.
perfect car. It's a perfect car.
I
It's
don't-
literally perfect. Yeah.
It does 8 miles to the kilo, or miles to the kilowatt hour. Yeah.
Is that good?
That's yeah. So like my 500e, like if you were really pedaling it, would do 5 or 6.
Oh,
the
wow.
Tesla does
Okay.
3, 4 if you are being very nice to it.
So 8's like literally twice as efficient. That's amazing. I like that.
And you can get a 15 kilowatt hour battery pack. So like this thing actually has some tolerable range.
Yeah, I
it
want
makes
that.
cool gear noises. The interior is very minimalist and cute.
Wait, actually, do they offer it as a 3-wheeler?
No, they don't.
If they
because the
did-
rear subframe is the way it is with the motor pack.
All right, so there's that one that's made in Romania. What's that called?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No, I mean yes.
There's a
I'm sure.
Romanian like mid-century looking car that they make. I'm blanking on the name.
Is it electric?
I think so, but that since that's a 3-wheeler, I think you can legally bring that to the United States because it counts. As
You
a
probably
motorcycle.
could, yeah.
at that
Yeah, the
point, it's a
rules are
motorcycle,
different.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you could probably ship this over with 3 wheels on it.
that's true.
Weld the diff.
Or apparently there is a island in the it's off the coast of Labrador, and it is a colony of France, so you can register a vehicle in France.
Okay.
And to register it there, you just need a PO box,
Okay.
and you could register it in this island.
So it's like South Dakota, the island.
Yeah, you can register it there, and then drive the car anywhere in the world with plates from there.
Oh,
I know.
I need
right?
my Avant time.
I know. That's what I was thinking. This is my first thought.
I want diplomat plates, damn it.
I actually learn things on TikTok. Like I really love this because
I'm glad you're using the really shit platform for something productive.
I'm really good at fucking with algorithms. If you fuck with the TikTok algorithm, you can make it really good. I gotta see if I can find where this island is. This is gonna make for great radio. It'll be on the next episode.
Perfect.
If I can find it, it will be on the next episode. So tune back in a week.
But the Microlino is just so
yes,
cute.
the Microlino's great.
And it has an enormous boot, apparently. Like, surprisingly capacious.
That's really great.
I know.
Do you have a photo of the boot?
Let me see if they have one.
God, I really like the rear end's amazing.
I know. It's just so cute. And the sport button in the shifter is a milled piece of aluminum, and it's got a picture of the side profile of a Microlino with a giant rocket on the top of it.
That's amazing.
I know. So Italian. They're just having a good time. I do not have a photo of the boot, but go and watch the fully charged segment on it. It's really good. They don't really go over much for the specs on the car, but who cares? He just drove it around Italy forever and then took it up some twisty roads. Everyone was breaking their neck.
Well, I've got, speaking of Europe and things, our friend Darren came back from Europe after buying his Twingo.
Yes, I've seen the photos.
He has reported to me that the Twingo does fantastic at about 70 miles an hour.
Excellent.
It
I mean,
is-
it should, right?
Yeah, it's just...
It's a real car.
Well, that was the thing. Is like, yeah, it's a real car, but like driving in Europe versus driving here
Sure.
are two very
that
different
is very
things.
different. Yeah, it's like the towing thing. It's like, well, everyone tows everything in Europe. I'm like, yeah, because the roads, you go like 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And everyone is trained to not drive like a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, not here. But apparently it's like, actually, like, he's like, yeah, no, it's just a totally normal car because it's the size of a shoe. So having 2 cylinders is just fine. Like,
Very
you're
good.
going to make plenty of power. You're going to be able to do exactly what you need.
I didn't know he got a 2-cylinder engine.
Yeah, no, they all have 2 cylinders.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
didn't
what it's
know
called,
that.
Twingo. Twin is the twin cylinder.
Oh, I mean, I
The
remember-
Nobe is the car. I finally found
Okay.
it. The Nobe 100, if you want to just Google that so you remember what it looks like. That's a 3-wheeler, and yes, it is electric.
I know we've talked. Oh, yeah. It's a
Yes,
super
the
vintage
Nobe.
looking thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Romanian or Czech or something.
Yeah.
Estonian. It's Estonian, because Estonia, of course.
Of course it is.
It's the only thing Estonia makes. Yeah, it's great.
The product of Estonia.
The sole product, yep. So yeah, that is what I want. I think I could more easily import that. But anyway, talking about vehicles that we have here.
Yes, yes.
We don't have this on our wall, which is good.
Well,
the new
we haven't updated that since
Yes.
this car came out.
The GR86 has a catastrophic problem. Can you guess what the problem is? I will promise you it's not something Toyota did.
Is it engine related?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it not the oil pump like the older FB20 engines?
Nope.
Is it Does it have to do with the same?
It is oil pump related.
Is it like the we covered a couple months ago the guy that took his GR86 to a track event and seized the engine or whatever? Is it related to that?
Because of the RTV?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is exactly that.
So you're telling me that wasn't a one-off?
It's not a one-off. It's a capital P problem. And actually, my friend, he personally experienced this on
Great.
his.
Super.
So I actually linked his Instagram post. His name's Andy.
Yeah, it's up there.
But, yeah, if you look inside that oil pickup there.
That is not a good day. I don't know how to zoom in Instagram shit on a PC, but...
Control plus. Hold control, click plus, and it just zooms in.
No, it's actually making it worse.
But anyway, there's a large plug of RTV that has been sucked into the oil pickup and is blocking probably about 80% of the screen.
Yeah, there's not much area there.
Yeah, so...
I'm sure that's good for oil flow and pressure.
He's stuck with $1,000 bill because of that.
That's actually a really low bill, but...
He caught it before there was an issue.
Oh.
Because he was...
How many miles are on this thing? Oh, it says here.
Very low, yeah. He got it with 10 miles on. He's driven at like 1,000. But he happened to do an oil change.
Yep, 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
At the dealer.
Yep. And he wanted to install a Tomai oil baffle because, for reliability.
Yep.
And when he pulls it off, look what he finds. And because
Wow.
Toyota won't do a preventative maintenance, they are forcing him to buy a new oil pickup. That's
Toyota
not
Subaru,
preventative.
Don't...
That's literally not preventative. That is currently a problem.
This is going to be like a recall and a class action.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a class action because that right there is not preventative. That's a broken part. Your oil pickup is a broken part.
That's a defect.
That is a failed part because you cannot clean that out correctly. That's entirely a failed part.
Oh my god.
I would take Toyota to... I would absolutely take them to court over that.
It's a car with 3,000 miles on it.
Yeah, and I would take them to court with that. Like, that's totally worth suing over.
Yes, they should.
Yeah,
They should have gotten ahead of this.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
absolutely. So,
I don't like this.
That's ridiculous.
Do better, Toyo Baru.
Not even that. I'm kind of just done with Subaru because, this is a very shitty thing. And the reason I backed Subaru for so long is they would do right by their customer. Mm-hmm. Like, if Subaru had an engine that overheated because they didn't clear the coolant galleys of casting sand,
yeah,
they would give you a new engine block.
Well, as they should.
As they should.
Weird, all this abrasive post-filter didn't do wonders for your engine.
Yeah, exactly.
So was this a GT86 or a BRZ?
This is a GT86.
I assume the same thing's happening to the BRZs. Are there the same problem at the dealer? Or are they saying, you're up a creek?
It's the exact same car, and this is...
Right, but how is the service department at Subaru handling it?
I don't know, but the thing is, it's the same car, and this is Subaru's fucking problem.
Yep, that's true.
This
is a Subaru
literally
engine.
Subaru, to a T. And, with the...
Can they
with
ever
the
just
EJ,
make one engine family that doesn't have some catastrophic problem?
Yes, the 3-cylinder and the Justy.
Oh, okay.
That one's just fine.
All right.
You make no power with it.
It's
just
fine.
That's called the Justy because it's just fine. But yeah, this is with the EJ, at least when they had a catastrophic head gasket or crankshaft failure.
Yeah.
They would fix the part.
Yeah.
And,
the rolling updates on the assembly line. And
and the thing is these didn't happen early on. These happened way later on in life.
Right.
And so they'd be like, hey, you're way outside of warranty. This is outside of when a car should be feasibly fixed by us. So, but what we're going to do is make sure that this doesn't happen again. They used to do that. They don't do that anymore.
We're going to charge you for the part. We're going to replace it, and that won't happen again.
And the reason I say that's them doing well by their customer. Let's look at by contrast Daewoo, who has similar reliability issues.
Do they even have a dealer network here?
Yeah, it's called Chevrolet.
Okay.
Because Chevrolet purchased them when they went under.
I see.
Yeah. So
I guess we do have the Sonic.
I watched a very fascinating documentary on Daewoo.
Who would take the time to make a documentary on Daewoo?
It is a YouTube channel called Asianometry, and it's actually about the Asian semiconductor industry. They're very, very interesting. But he does beyond just that. He just kind of goes to the industrial revolution of Asia and modern Asian industrial news. Like,
Sure.
it's a very cool YouTube channel. I'll send it to you. You'll like them a lot. But he did a 30-minute long documentary on, like, what the hell went wrong with Daewoo. Like, why did Daewoo fail? And, like,
Daewoo, where are they now?
yeah. And so, yeah, like, what Daewoo would do is they'd make something that's average Subaru quality, and they would not back the product. And it would just blow up, and he'd be like, hey, this failed because you had a catastrophic design issue. And Daewoo's like, okay, was this within warranty? And they're like, nope. And they go, how much was this car brand new? And they're like, $15,000. $15,000 for mid-size sedan. They go, okay, you got how many miles out of it? Yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
Bye.
Stop complaining.
Yeah, go buy another one. I will happily sell you another Nubria.
They should just wheel you from the service department into the new car showroom.
Yeah, seriously, that's basically what they would do. So that's the thing is, like, this right here is this is Daewoo customer service. This is not what I expect from Toyota or Subaru.
And this is not a Daewoo priced product, nor is it
No,
Daewoo
this is a
quality
normal.
product.
This is a normal ass car price.
Toyota must be livid about this.
No, because apparently Toyota's okay just stiffing people with $1,000 bills for a problem that they created.
Great.
Yeah.
Super good. That seems really customer friendly, centric.
Yep.
Not anti-consumer. That's what I'm looking
This
for.
is really, really great for Toyota, especially when they're like expanding their market and everything.
Really good PR. You know, when we've been saying so many nice things about most of their product this year.
Yeah, and like, well, the thing is, like, while all this is happening, you have Kia absolutely crushing it on literally everything they touch. Like, do you really want to play this game when you have Kia next door, like, literally next door, across a strait?
Yep.
Like, would you really want to be doing this to your customers when they could easily buy a Kia that's faster than your car, has a better warranty, and is cheaper?
How about they throw the 3-cylinder Toyota Turbo in there and just call it good?
That's what they should do, yeah. Except
You know how good that car would be? It'd be way more expensive, I grant, because that engine has to cost more to make.
I don't know.
You'd have to think it would, right?
No, I don't know.
I mean, it's a small engine, but there's still a lot of components to
Yeah,
it.
but if you think like economies of scale,
Yeah, okay.
and then
That's
you
true.
think
It's already federalized.
it's already federalized, you have the economy of scale because you have it in more vehicles, and then also you have to consider the long-term production of replacement parts for that engine. Like, I think
They should do this then. Toyota, go ahead and throw your 3-cylinder turbo from the Corolla GR into there.
even if you don't do it like straight up and down, if you just like slant it over,
Sure.
you do like a slant engine,
It'll
like
be fun.
you just do like slightly.
It's probably canted over a little bit already, right? It's not
yeah,
straight
so
up
you,
and down.
so you just cant it over more.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like you
Well,
can
keep
get
the
like
weight nice and far back.
like a Hillman Imp, like a Toyota Hillman Imp. Like, that'd be perfect.
I understand your reference, but I don't like it. Oh, God. Okay, well, speaking of new cars with engine issues, this isn't something with a link, but it's something I talked about with a friend of mine last week. So Corey, my previous tenant, our old sound engineer that died many times with his shovel, his coworker has a new Civic with a manual, just a Civic Sport.
Mazda.
He has a Civic Sport.
Oh.
He was trading it in because it was worth so much money. He's like, well, I hate the seats, and the seats in this Mazda 3 are phenomenal. Goes to the dealer, test drives. They got on the lot a white on like brown interior, premium manual transmission Mazda 3 hatch. Test drives it, loves it, buys it. Does the commute the next day in it, and he notices once he gets on the highway and is there for about 30 seconds at a steady state, it starts sounding like a tugboat. He's like, oh, weird. So he's on the cluster cylinder deactivation. Turns out there is no way to deactivate that unless you have the dual clutch. In the dual clutch, you put it in sport mode and it shuts it off. But in the manual, there's no mechanism, there's no flash, no nothing. And to add insult to injury, Mazda had so many complaints in 2020 when they turned that on, they removed it for the 2021 model year and then brought it back in 2022. 2021 Mazda 3 has no cylinder deactivation because they had so many complaints about how rough it was running
And
in
then
two
they
cylinders.
bring it back.
Brought it back.
Oh my God!
Yep.
What the hell?
So anyway,
God,
he
damn it.
then brought the car back and
Yeah.
traded back for his Civic.
No, I would absolutely get rid of that. Nope, not okay with that.
How is this a thing though? Like, it's in the manual version only where this is the issue. And like the manual driver typically that's buying a high spec car like that isn't as concerned with the economy as somebody who's buying the taller final drive auto version.
Even then, I know why they did it. It's for emissions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But turning it off does not affect your emissions. Having it be defeatable does not affect your emissions.
Exactly, because you do the test with it enabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just do it. And then you turn it off for, like, if there's a specific instance for when you need to turn it off.
Or they could just make a good 2-cylinder engine and just put that in there.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, Twingos do just fine with the 2-cylinder. You could just make a good 2-cylinder.
The Fiat Twin Air, that later engine that was in the current 500, well, pseudo-current 500, that's a great engine.
Yeah. Like, that would have been great. I mean, there's...
When I heard
really
that,
bananas to me that they would do that. It's, you know, I was thinking the other day that there aren't any new cars that I would actually care about, like, enough to actually buy. There's, like, new cars I care about, but, like, really not any that I'm willing to pull the trigger on, like, including the Mirage. As much as I love the Mirage, I don't love that enough to pull the trigger on it.
Right. Yeah, it's a car I like and respect, and I will recommend to people, but there's
so many other cars where I could get a used car that does most of what a Mirage would do for me.
Yeah.
Like, I've considered getting a Mirage very seriously since fuel has gotten very expensive, and the Fiat's been just having 87 stuffed into it for a long time.
That poor engine.
I'm just not capable of living if I'm putting in premium. Like, that it makes enough of a difference with my life.
It hasn't failed yet. Should be fine. And at least it's
all
got
it does is just retards back the ignition. Then you just replace your plugs sooner, and that's part of why I did those copper plugs, because I have to replace them anyway. Like,
Yep. It happens both ways. If you tune the car or you run crappier fuel, you got to replace plugs all the time.
So you just run copper plugs that are gapped differently. And as long as it's the correct heat range, like, it should do fine.
I love those plugs, man.
It does great.
124 is super happy with them. So
yeah, when I'm once in a while when I have 91 in the car, like once in a while when I can really afford it,
the car's like,
the car runs very nicely on 91. Like, it's great. Even on 87, to be honest. It runs just fine on 87 outside of sport mode. Once it's in sport mode, I just don't do that. I do not turn it on until I have got 91 in the car. But when I've got 91 in it and I put it in sport mode, yeah, it just fucking goes. It's great.
I mean, a lot of the world
it's
has
a lot of fun.
Trash fuel, like really bad. So modern cars have to be able to deal with bad gas.
With whatever you want,
right.
Yeah.
So
as long as it's not water in it, you're fine.
That's true.
But you know what would just alleviate all these problems is if I could get an electric vehicle that's the size of a shoe.
Okay.
And
like a Microlino?
I'm thinking a little bit bigger than that because, like, realistically, but, like, electric city cars are what I want. Like, I want, like, a Honda E or a Fiat 500 electric.
The new Gen 500E is so cool.
And it's so great looking. And Top Gear actually tested them back to back.
Oh, really?
Yep. They look perfect, and they're a little bit slower than the gas Abarth and everything. Like, a little bit, like, literally a second slower than an Abarth around the Top Gear test track. Which is really fast.
I mean, they don't make... So, the current 500 is electric only, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
And the Honda E is electric only.
So, what did they run against the Honda E for a gas equivalent, or did they?
They just ran them back to back against, like, a 500 and a Civic Type R.
I gotcha.
Like,
Civic Type R.
Yeah, obviously the Type R was quite fast.
Yes.
But
Those are rapid.
like a GTI. But
oh, these cars are so cute.
I know. And they
my
actually said that the 500 it has no right performing as well as it does, looking as cute as it is. And it's true. Like, they don't need to go that fast. And the car's, like, pink and adorable.
I know.
And it goes really quickly. Thing is, the Honda is actually, I'm going to spoil it, the Honda wins.
Honda's also rear-wheel drive.
Yes.
Which is huge.
But also, it's got, like, significantly more power. Like, it shows. And even though the Fiat 500 is lighter,
sure,
the Honda is more powerful, and it just pushes through. So
I want either of them here, please. Mm-hmm. I think the Fiat's got a little bit higher range, but it doesn't matter.
It's a city car.
Yeah.
I wanted that. And we're saying, we need to have more EV cars. I don't want a Model S.
No, you really don't.
I don't want a 3.
Nope.
I don't want a Y.
Nope.
I don't want any of that. I don't want a Lucid Air. I don't want an F-150.
I don't want a Taycan.
I need the smallest possible electric vehicle.
Yep.
And because I want the smallest possible car.
Yeah, cars need to get smaller.
Like, I need a car that fits in my half driveway.
Yep, it's a valid concern.
That's the thing, is, like, if I'm in winter,
yep,
I can't park in my garage because my project car is in there. Even though a lot of people just straight up don't have garages.
Correct. And
So-
that's a big issue that's come up a lot. It's like, well, what do you do for people that don't have off-street parking
Yeah.
or like live in
and
apartments?
Like in my house, like I've got what is a very common driveway size, which is just a parking,
Short.
Yeah, it's a short, like it's a half a car length or one whole Fiat 500 length.
Oh, 500 is so cute.
But like my driveway is like literally 10 feet long. Like that's how long it is.
Right.
It's the exact size of a Fiat 500.
I mean, you've commented like it is exactly like nose to tip, like
yeah,
car,
nuts
like
to butt.
Fiat, nuts,
like
yeah.
my car fits. Like when I go into my driveway, I put it in neutral and I slightly tap my garage door, and that is when I've now parked in my driveway.
I bet your garage door and your front bumper look fantastic then.
Oh, they do, because it's like less than 1 mile an hour. It's just enough where I can just barely feel a little bit of a bump.
I have a piece of cardboard in the front of my parking spot in my garage at home, and when I see that jiggle a little bit, I know.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
Like it's the slightest. Like I've got a really good feel for these things. Like when I pull into my parking spot, like I have everything off. Like I'm only paying attention to parking, and it's because I'm used to like I always park my car in the smallest possible area because I try to maximize
the
my
things
space.
you can do with a 500.
Like I fit Jana's Buick into the smallest amount of space I could possibly fit it in within my garage.
I take pride in that.
Yeah, and like that's a giant car with not accurate power steering. And yeah, like that car, like you park within the nearest, everything you do is within the nearest foot of the car. But I still, when I park that car, I've gotten it to a point where I can get like within inches of where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And like that's, really important to me because space is a premium living in the city. And I want to be able to like grab my snowblower or something or grab my lawnmower and
That's
without
a big
having
one.
to like without having to like walk over the hood of the Buick or like have to lift it over my head. Like I just want to be able to like, and so yeah, I am very careful about my parking. But anyway, back on topic about needing a small car. Yeah, I don't want to have to like a Civic is way like my friend Josh just bought a Civic and it is so fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like he showed me this car. He goes, "Yeah, look how nice it is." Like he's got his like whole ass guitar.
Well, I mean, great.
Behind his.
But it's the same problem with the Integra. I mean,
Yeah, he's got
They're
an.
too
He,
big.
like he shows me the back seat, and he's like, "Yeah, look, his footroom. He's got like an acoustic guitar, like between the back seat and his seat, and there's still footroom, and like he's my size." And like he's not like me, where like I like touching both my doors at the same time.
Sure.
Like he doesn't care about that. Like
Okay.
he's like, this is fun. Like he's comfortable in the back seat of the Fiat, but he's also like, he cares more about like just daily. This is my Civic. Look how nice and big it is.
sure. I'm sure.
And
the
he
car
even
drives
says
fine,
he even
but-
says, I would have bought an Accord if an Accord was the size of a Civic because this is the size I want. I don't want.
Well,
Yeah.
props to him for at least recognizing
No,
that
and
and buying the size car he wanted.
Yeah, and he's like, I wanted a mid-sized car because every car I've owned that I've enjoyed is a mid-sized car, and that's the thing is that he wants a mid-sized car. I want a micro compact. Like I want the,
Yeah.
I
want an A segment car for my daily.
yeah, I want the smallest possible vehicle, and
I still want it to have the
Like,
capability, but yeah.
I understand that that's not going to be your top seller, and if you look at Mitsubishi, somebody that's very good at making mid-sized vehicles that they think are going to be their top seller. Nobody talks about the Outlander.
Good.
Nobody talks about anything that they make. Everybody talks about the Mirage because that's the one that's a good value.
Yeah, I mean, I hear rumblings once in a while about the Outlander FEV, but that's it.
That's
that's
it.
only from the EV
But
nosy
like,
groups.
that's the thing is like, and also when fuel gets expensive, guess what your little stupid car that has a low profit margin and doesn't move many units becomes? That becomes your
Very
hot
valuable.
ticket. That's your very valuable ticket because when everything else drops off, that car is going to stay there.
I remember when Geo
that's-
Metros were fetching like $8,000.
They still are for some reason. Well, actually, now it's because they're classics. It's
Okay.
annoying. But like, there's a reason GM killed off all of their cars except the Spark, because the Spark is that micro compact car that when the shit hits the fan, you're still going to sell these.
And they still have
crank
cafe
windows.
stuff to worry about. So
Yeah, and like you have crank windows on those. Like you have a lot of things that are not anything anybody wants, but when Ford is sitting here not able to sell anything at all because everything has a touchscreen in it and everything needs power windows, Chevy is able to crank out Sparks.
Yep.
Because that Spark came
Like,
with the
does
crank
this have any
windows.
chips in it? Like, there's one on the computer, but we have 82,000 of those in stock.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Like, that's the thing is, like, that's your Huckleberry. That's going to save your day. And, like, yeah, maybe that person does, well, yeah, guaranteed that person does not come in looking for that car, but you're going to make a sale that day if that's what you have available. If somebody needs a car and they need something that's new,
And
that's
especially
what
if
they're
they
going
have
to get.
literally any budget.
Yeah.
Because everything else is gouged to hell right now.
It's a hell of a lot easier to sell somebody that's looking for a more expensive car a cheaper car.
Oh, yeah.
Than it is the other way around.
Yeah,
'Cause
upselling is...
There's no way that you're going to get me to pay $300 a month for anything. Like, that's just a fact. I'm never paying. Like,
I mean,
It
good
would-
for you for realizing that.
it
but,
would be-
I hate car payments.
yeah, but I mean, like, it's an example. Whereas, like, if somebody comes in saying, I want a $400 a month payment, you try to, like, get them into
Squeeze
a
them into it.
$475.
Sure.
That's going to be tougher. Or you do a $400 a month payment, getting this car paid off faster.
Sure. Or run out your loan to some insane term, but now interest rates are up, so you have an
Yeah.
even harder sell there.
Exactly. So, and that's what I'm saying is, like, if you have a person that's trying to buy a car and it's budget based, like, of any budget, getting them to move into a smaller car, even temporarily, is going to be an easier sell. I know this firsthand as well.
Well, especially because it's
So-
going to lose a smaller percentage of its overall value over
Exactly.
that time,
Yeah.
too.
Like, if a person's like, oh, man, I really want a Bronco. And it's like, sorry, dude, you can't get the Bronco. Why? Because we don't have the screens for it. However, I can put you on the waiting list for Bronco. And if you want to buy a Focus today, like, that would be feasibly there. Done.
Sure.
Obviously, the Focus doesn't exist, but, like, that is a thing where a person, otherwise, you know what they're going to do is they're just going to go down to the Mazda dealership, pick up their 3 or pick up their CX-3 or their 5
Or they'll buy
whatever.
something terrible used for way too much money.
Yeah, and at a different dealership, and that again does not help the dealer. So yeah, it behooves them to sell an electric vehicle. Like Fiat right now is not selling fuck all.
No, because all they have is the super dated X and the really super dated L.
No, they don't sell the L anymore. I'm
Yeah, they
pretty
do.
sure. What?
Yeah,
I can
they
buy a
still
brand new
sell it.
L.
You can still buy a brand new L. It's
hell?
ridiculous. I thought it was baloney, but Scott's like, nope, they still sell the L.
Yeah, see, if they brought the 500, like that'd be great. Electric 500.
Bring the Panda too.
Like-
get rid of the L, bring us a Panda, bring the 500e.
Yeah, like you have 2 modern cars in Europe that you're not selling to us, and I genuinely think. Do you know when Fiat quit updating all their shit?
2015 or 16.
It's when Sergio Marchionne died.
Ah,
And I was right. Because I said that, like, Mike Manley or whatever the hell from Dodge. when he came in, I'm like, he's going to fuck up all this. And I was right.
we have the luxury of having recorded this show
Yes,
so long now.
I know. And I'm like, I was right.
There's proof
I
somewhere.
called it. This dude was going to fuck it up because he comes from Jeep.
Yep.
And he's totally, he's going to prioritize Jeep over Fiat.
And he has,
And
'cause he's
Fiat's going to founder.
All of Flounder. They're going to
Flounder,
put
thank you.
all of those platforms and all that tech from Fiat into the Jeep and let Fiat wither and die.
Yep.
on the vine.
And look at Fiat. They've not done shit since Sergio Marchionne died.
No. They
E-
put in a new 1.3 liter turbo engine.
Yeah, but even
'cause of Jeep.
That's the thing is like this is why I talk about like how Dodge is capable of being good for like 10 years at a time, every 30 years. Is
Yep.
they'll have one person that happens to come in that like buys the company.
Iacocca, Marchione.
Yeah, they always come from somewhere else.
Yep.
And then they do great, and then they have 2 people from Chrysler that are working there, and they prioritize their one little mark, and then let the rest of the fucking entire brand just like die on the vine. Like they still make the 300. They're just killing the 300. I didn't
that
know
is-
that 300 existed.
Still on the LX platform, which is still a W210.
I know. It's insane. And like it's
1996.
it's just it's so wacky to me where I'm just like you could easily federalize this electric car. In fact, you'd be better off for it. I bet you could get this car just steamrolled through EPA.
Probably.
500. Like
You've already
it's
built one.
It's an EV. Joe Biden's president right now.
Yeah,
He's
just
trying to like have anything
through.
good happen. Like you could push that through. You could move so many fucking units right now.
If a 500 new style comes to this country in the next year, I will go to the dealership and buy a brand new.
Yeah, because your only reason for having the Tesla is because it's electric.
It's the only thing that fits my needs right now.
Yeah, but a 500 sure as
was
shit
better.
would.
Yeah. Even the old one, it's like, other than road tripping occasionally, that car never was an inconvenience to
No,
me.
it was great. Like
I don't know really why I traded it in, but I did.
I know why, because you really wanted the self-driving thing. I told you this is stupid because Tesla sucks.
I do like autopilot. Now that traffic's getting bad again, it's great.
Yeah, and then you've been complaining about Tesla the entire time.
The owners are really bad.
You've had the full Tesla experience, where most of your experience is complaining about the fact that you bought a Tesla.
Yeah, my car is fantastic for the most part, but like the owners ruin it.
Well, except for the MCUs.
The MCUs are bad. Occasional
and they had the
steering
door
shaft.
handle.
That's fine. That's only happened once in the
steering
parts.
shaft.
Yeah, but it hasn't been. I put 100,000 miles on
And
it.
they had the fuel door flap.
Yeah, fuel door.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened in the winter too. So a bunch of road salt got in there. Mm-hmm.
You have had all of the problems with your shitty Tesla. The car objectively sucks.
I've had to put like $3,000 into it in the last 100,000 miles.
The car objectively sucks.
That's pretty good. No, the car is good. The brand sucks. The person at the head of the brand sucks. The owners suck.
Man. I really think that
product
having to replace
is
the
good.
MCU 3 times the door handle and like I've put in exactly $0 into my Fiat.
Correct, because it doesn't have an infotainment system.
Yes.
But like any Dodge product, we were just on that van. If you asked them about their MyConnect system or whatever,
Yeah.
oh, they either it's currently not working and there aren't any parts, or they've been through like 8 of them.
Yeah,
so
because they suck. Because again,
except for the German stuff just dates super quickly and you don't want to use it, but it doesn't break. Everything else breaks.
Oh, no, the German stuff does break. It dates very quickly, and then it breaks. The thing is, a lot of people say, oh, German stuff doesn't
Well, the BMW
date.
one doesn't.
Well, no,
I don't know about
this is the thing is, like, people are like, oh, the German stuff doesn't date. But, like, if you look at how people own German cars, they own them for, like, maybe 3 years at a time.
the warranty period.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even then, like, how many people do you know that's not an E46, but, like, a newer German car that owns their car for more than 5 years?
It's rare. My mother is like, I deal with that right now. She's like, I wish it had CarPlay.
Yeah, like
I'm like, well, there's a Chinese Android Auto system I can buy and shove in there, I guess. But
yeah, German car buyers don't own cars for that long. That's why I say, oh, they're so reliable. It's like you have a brand new car, you owned it for 5 years.
they can be, but you really got to be
And also,
choosy.
you had a brand new car you owned for 5 years. You put 20,000 miles on it in that time frame.
And
this is why it's reliable. Any car would do that. You could have a Porsche 996.
But I'm saying the nav systems specifically, like the iDrives, never break. They never break. I don't know about the MMI. I don't know about the Benz system, whatever they call that thing. Command.
It's still Command.
Command, fine. Yeah. I don't know about those. But anyway, the infotainment systems, I hate the fact that they're mandatory in these cars. I want buttons.
Yeah, give me a button.
To turn on my headlights, it's 3 taps.
That's stupid.
And it resets every time you get in the car.
That's so
I want a physical switch for that.
Yeah.
But the irony is, like, my car is the Tesla with the most buttons in it. I get into Mark's car, I'm like, screw this. Like, you got to swipe on the screen for the gear change. I'm like, yeah, what happens when that screen will break? Apparently there are backup buttons in the console somewhere. I'm like, no, screw this.
Nope, that's stupid.
Give me a lever.
That is ridiculous.
I hate it so much. But no, the car, I'll come to, that specific car has been pretty good to me so far.
So going back to these tiny EVs,
yes.
We talked about Fiat a lot and how much this will benefit Fiat.
Yes.
The other brand here is Honda. And Honda similarly is a brand that has been floundering since the pandemic, or not since the pandemic, since the Great Recession, since we were in high school.
Yep.
They've done fuck all. They made the Mugen SI.
Whoopee.
They made that. That is all. They've done nothing
Oh, that was
else.
the whole list. I got
Yep, that was it. You had that and you had the Civic Type R. Cool. Those are not volume sellers. Those are not things that most people that buy cars will ever give a shit about.
Yeah.
You know what the Honda E is? It is a 10 out of 10 adorable stinking car that everybody says, wow, I really want this.
And it's good to drive.
And everybody goes, wow, I really want this. Ask any random person, look at them.
Yeah.
Like, have them look at the car. You go, this car looks great. I would love this. And there's nobody, with the exception of people that aren't in the market, that would never, ever be seen in a small car. Like, people that, like, an Accord is considered a tiny vehicle for them.
Oh, my God.
Which is most Americans. Again, you're Honda. You're not GM. Like, your whole game is small vehicles. You can bring this to us. And everybody that lives in a city would love it.
Also, everybody is pushing a huge number of EVs through their pipeline for the U.S. market.
Except for Honda. And
Fiat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But, I mean, they're pushing that through Stellantis. I mean, what? Dodge, They're getting the new Charger Challenger thing, whatever. There's a new crossover that's, who cares? But, like, there are products in your pipeline. You're going to have to train your techs anyway.
Yeah.
They're already used to the first Gen 500e, which is the same car underneath. Just bring it.
Yeah.
And, like, there's been rumblings. We've talked about it on the show. Like, it's possible it'll come here. I'm like, do it then.
Yeah, no, they don't need to make it bigger. Like, they just need to make it, period. And then
Product needs to stay fresh.
You bring the product here, and then the next generation, like the Honda E, like you make your second generation, you put that the design language from the Honda E, you move that into a Civic or a Fit style thing.
Hell yeah.
Because Honda currently does not make a Fit because nobody was buying it because the Fit kind of sucked.
Well, yeah, the later gen.
The later gen really sucked.
First gen was great.
Yeah, the first two were great.
True. True.
But,
I forgot about the third gen.
Yeah, the third gen's the one I'm talking about. Like
Okay, yeah.
But even then, I still see a bunch of those.
Yeah, I mean, they get rusty real quick, but it's a Honda, so.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, like, you currently have no small car option. So you have everybody that's looking for a small car is getting a used car right now. Or a Chevy Spark or a Mitsubishi Mirage.
I had a coworker ask me yesterday drunk. I was like, if you had $140,000 right now to buy a car, what would it be? I'm like, used or new? And like, my answers were like, I had to think about it. I'm like, if I had to buy a brand new car right now and I had that as a budget, I would get a Taycan Sport Turismo rear-wheel drive with the big battery, no options. I hate the
$140,000 is my budget.
Yeah, but like, I was thinking in the used market, I'm like, I own those cars already. Like, there's nothing out there.
Used market, there's a lot of cars I would buy. I don't
caveat though, you have to drive it year round and it's your only car.
Yeah. So but like, my thing is like, new car.
Yeah.
Even with $140,000, like unlimited budget for a car available in the United States.
Yeah, which 140K is not.
But I mean, like, for a car that I'm willing to like,
sure.
Cause like
you can get most anything you would actually be looking at.
Yeah, I would still probably end up with a Corolla XSE.
That's a freaking great car. Like all my used picks were like they're $40,000 or less.
Yeah, no, I'd still be looking at like a $20,000-$30,000 car
because it's the best product currently on. Corolla GR would be good.
I don't know if I want that after the Fiat. Like, I'm not sure if I want something that takes premium for a daily. I kind of like, I like being able to put in ass gas, and like if money's tight, then I can just like put in my normal 87 and feel a lot better.
But you could put in a tune for 87. That's actually becoming more common for like BMWs and stuff like that.
Then I have to pay for the tune, or I could just get a car that I could just stuff 87
The XSE is great.
And be happy with. Like,
I mean,
it's on our list.
Yeah, it's a great car.
Like,
I recommend them all the time.
And so, like, honestly, yeah, I think that'd be my car. It'd be an XSE.
Will that fit in your driveway?
Just barely not, and that's why I had to think about that. Because, like, honestly, that driveway thing is so big.
I know.
Where...
Well, it's small, actually.
Well, I mean, for me, it's such a big issue. I should say yes. It is such a big issue for me. Like... If Mitsubishi canned the manual Mirage, actually, they basically have, because the one I want is CVT, I've considered it. Because at that point, I'm getting a car for a commuter, not for something I actually care about. Something I care about would be like the Cressida or the Buick.
Right.
So at this point, this is my daily driver. I'm taking this to get groceries and like maybe run a Micro Center.
Oh, I got to go there on my way home. My 7700X is still in reserve.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy you got that. And if you end up not using it,
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'm waiting until B650 comes out.
I really wanted to buy that, but like with Lucifer's vet bill,
still $400 plus tax.
With Lucifer's vet bill, I don't have spare money. So like, if you have that in February, once I've paid this off,
I will, because I'm just gonna mine with it.
Yep,
so.
Exactly. I'm just like, I'll just like throw this into a motherboard and have a new computer now.
Yep.
And like I saw like you're buying, like, God damn it, I wish you bought the 8-core one. I'm like,
I did.
No, there was the more expensive one.
Oh, the 12 or the 16?
The one that was like $699, I think.
That's the 12. 16 core, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, 16 core.
The
yeah.
79.
I'm like this because all right, this is my thing with like computers.
I mean, you may as well at that point. It is a better cost proposition to go with the big one.
The processor is the biggest pain in the ass. Another trend.
Oh.
Ooh, it's going the right direction.
Wow. They are really butts to nuts or whatever you call it.
Nuts to butts.
Yeah. It's a good term. I just forget it.
It's a really good term. But the processor I always spend as much money as possible on. And I wait till the newest generation comes out. I get the most expensive one when it releases. And I built my last computer in 2014. And it's still entirely reasonable. And in fact, the processor that I bought in 2014 is still being sold today and is still like a $120 processor.
Is that a 4790K?
It's the 4K Alder Lake or whatever, like LGA 1151 chipset.
Alder Lake is LGA 1200. That's a new one.
I mean, it's not Alder Lake, then Skylake maybe. I don't know.
Is it a 6th gen?
It
doesn't matter.
It's got 4 cores and very high processing rate. It was like...
It's got to be a 6700K.
I think so.
Okay. It's got to be 2015.
It was late 14.
Okay.
Like, it was like Christmas 2014.
That is still a really good CPU. That gen is ridiculous.
And I got that back then, and it still does just fine. I run into issues. The only times I've ever run into issues is when I was doing photogrammetry, and when I was...
It's probably just lack of threads.
Yeah, and it was the amount of time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just the amount of time it took. Photogrammetry and building lighting in Unreal Engine, which are effectively the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah. That was.
But a lot of that's even pushed to the graphics card now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
sorry, I know we're on a tangent,
it is. Yeah, we are. But like even then, like with
still a good CPU.
It breaks my computer when I'm doing it because I can't. Like if I push to the graphics card, I can't do anything else.
But like that CPU is almost identical to the Core i3-10100, which was still sold today.
That's what I mean.
Point. Like it's the same process size. It's a 14 nanometer. It's a 4-core, 8-thread CPU.
It's great.
Similar boost and base
This is why
clocks.
When I build a computer, I just
God.
get the best processor I can, and then everything else I can easily just like swap out. The processor actually takes work. I need to plug everything, and then oh my god, I've had issues changing a processor. I have to reinstall Windows and stuff before.
But you also have the best CPU for that socket, other than the 7700K, which is the same chip.
Exactly, I've got the peak of that socket set.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, back on topic.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I like talking.
Going back to my issue with the driveway thing, I've considered getting a CVT Mirage.
No.
Because this is the thing is, I think about that, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm also sitting there, I'm like, CVT Mirage does not require a clutch replacement at 90,000 miles, which I'm getting very close to.
I've not heard of anyone roasting a clutch in a 500.
90 to 120 is when most clutches.
Scott's Prima finally needed a clutch at 160K.
It makes you feel a little bit better then. I just get a little worried because other cars I've had, it's just 90 to 120.
All I've heard on those is when the seals start leaking on the diff and you run out of oil, it will seize the transmission. But the clutch itself, I really haven't heard any.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah. I don't have to consider that. But so it's it's one less thing I have to worry about. I don't have to think about a clutch. I also
but you're gonna have to worry about a push belt then.
And you know what else I don't have to worry about is the fact that it's literally anything because I don't care. It's a commuter.
Manual Mirage, fine, but the 500 at least is a cool car.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Mirage is just a good car.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Back to the whole Mirage thing as a daily driver, CVT Mirage, it's literally a car I don't care about at that point, and I'm okay with a car that I don't care about.
So is a manual Mirage.
Yes, but I'm saying if the manual Mirage went away, this is what I'm saying. If that didn't exist, that driveway thing,
we might have a long hiatus on this show if you buy an automatic as a daily.
I'm not going to. Don't worry.
Okay,
but I'm saying if the manual Mirage disappeared with $140,000, I would strongly consider that as a brand new car over a Corolla XSE because of that size thing.
No,
that's
critical.
the thing. That is such a critical thing to me. I will take an automatic car before I have to worry every time it snows about where the fuck I'm gonna park my car.
Over a manual car that doesn't fit.
Yeah, being able to just park my car during a snowstorm and not have to worry about getting a ticket. I'm sorry, manual transmission is not worth.
So I'm thinking
probably
you use the money.
What's $500 a year in parking tickets every time it snows?
Spend that money, get dual citizenship somewhere, buy a Microlino, ship it in, run diplomat plates. You guys can both park in the driveway.
Yeah, that's probably the end goal there.
Ta-da.
All right. Anyway.
All right, my last topic here. So you're very well of the Kia Boys issue.
Yes.
Kia Hyundai, the engineers of brilliance, have found a solution, and they will sell it to you.
Nope.
To fix your immobilizer. So
/thread.
Yep.
I will just go ahead and go to a mechanic shop and get a fuel pump kill switch.
Yep.
And even better yet, I will get a keyed fuel pump kill switch.
Or a couple.
No, just one where literally you have to a little a little one tumbler key locks they put on safes and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just get one of those locks or in the lock. There's just a switch.
Yep.
Because some punk teenagers,
even if they find it, good luck.
Some punk teenagers not gonna know what the fuck to do with that.
Correct.
So yeah. Okay,
that's,
Kia,
like you said,
that
/thread.
That doesn't fix my problem.
It's not a solution
you need
if
to
you're
do this
charging.
for free.
Yeah. You can't even insure your cars, and that's the biggest thing right now. It's not even people worried about their cars getting stolen. It's the fact that they can't afford their insurance on their car anymore.
Yep,
because
it's bananas.
YouTube tells them how to
Jana's
steal.
sister, it's not even YouTube doing it. It's literally a TikTok trend. It's very cursed.
Oh.
But no, Jana's sister sold her Kia Optima because she had nothing but problems with it. Like, the car was just kind of generally shitty, didn't fit her. And then the Kia boys happened, and she goes, "This is stupid." And then she bought an HRV.
I saw a new gen HRV the other day. That was a very strange looking vehicle.
It has the coolest rear suspension
I believe you.
because it's got the
I was fixating on the taillight package, which I don't care for.
so it's got twist beam axle that goes over a different.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
With axle shafts.
Can you imagine the machine, the size of the machine needed to make that pre-stressed member?
It is so
must be massive.
It's so interesting. It's a very interesting rear end. I love it a lot. Everybody should go look underneath an HRV. Anyway,
On that
top
note,
tip of the day. See you next week.
next week. Bye.